Rabbi Axelrod is looking for donations of grocery gift cards that he can distribute to those in need. If you would like to donate grocery gift cards in any denomination, please stop by the office and deliver to Roberta or Rabbi. And he informed me that he is almost out, so please help us by giving the gift cards. C&T will host 3 Taste of Judaism classes in June. If you know anyone who is curious about Judaism, please direct them to our website or calendar for information to register. Family Promise of Las Vegas Families Navigation Center invites you to attend its official groundbreaking ceremony on Thursday, June 15th.
Which was yesterday, and it was wonderful.
Oh, it's in the, okay.
I know, that's a mistake.
All right, well.
It was a great groundbreaking. We had a great representation from there to me. So good.
Mazel
good go.
tov. And it was okay. C&T annual meeting takes place on Tuesday, June 20th, this coming Tuesday in our social hall at 7 p.m. All members are welcome to witness the installation of our new board of trustees and enjoy a dessert reception. And if I must say so, one of our congregants, Andrea Harris, she makes the best desserts. So please join us at our annual meeting. Join C&T's adult choir High Holidays rehearsal start on Wednesday, June 21st at 6:45 p.m. Go to our website or calendar to sign up. C&T is also in need of wind, horn, and string musicians to join the 24th season of the Shabbatones. Auditions will be held in late July. Please contact Cantor Hutchings for more information. Both C&T Preschool and Religious School are enrolling for the fall. For more information and to register, please go to our website. C&T Religious School is hiring, seeking Jewish individuals with experience in child care, education, and a general knowledge of Hebrew to join our synagogue and religious school community as a Sunday religious school teacher and/or a Tuesday Hebrew school teacher. Contact C&T's Family and Education Director, Haley Wezig, for more information. And one thing more about our C&T annual meeting, to RSVP, please go to the website and calendar. And the last but not least, C&T Sisterhood's Mark L. Fine and Family Gift Shop is open Fridays 45 minutes before services or by appointment. And if I must say so myself, we have beautiful Judaic items, and it supports our religious school kids and our synagogue. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Michelle. And by the way, if you are thinking about joining Sisterhood, don't think any further. Let Michelle know, because it's a wonderful organization. Michelle's been president for a long while, and they do so much to support the synagogue. We're so appreciative, so appreciative. So, Gloria, what should we talk about?
There's a book I hear that just came out.
You're kidding. Would it be in the Sisterhood gift shop?
It would be.
Well, I better keep talking their praises then.
Yes, and it's Rabbi's book.
Oh, wait a minute. We just happen to have a copy right here.
And Rabbi would be happy to sign
Hold your
his
book up.
with
Hold your
his
book
bar
up.
mitzvah pen.
Well, maybe not my
Still
bar
has
mitzvah
it.
pen. Well, the ink dried
It
up.
still works. It's,
Yeah.
you know,
Anyways,
hasn't been that long.
the proceeds go to my college fund and the synagogue. And we hope that you'll stop by the gift shop and buy the copies or go to Amazon. Remember a little thing called COVID? Mm-hmm. Well, I wrote one essay called Love in the Time of Corona at the suggestion of a board member. And before you know it, I wrote 2 and then 3. And then for 2 years, I'm writing these essays. And then we decided to collect them, which was my sabbatical project. And it's now a book available in the Mark L. Fine gift shop or on Amazon. And I will sign it. If you say pretty please, it'll be my pleasure. Well, what else do they need to do?
Well, we need religious school teachers.
Okay.
We have some fabulous ones, but we need more.
We do need more. We're looking for about 3 teachers.
More, and we need
So-
preschool teachers too. We have a fabulous preschool.
All right. Paige. Stand up. So if you're interested in being a teacher, talk to Paige. She will connect you to Haley.
And
And-
Isaac.
Isaac, where's Isaac? And Isaac, he's
He
also...
wasn't supposed to come tonight, but he heard,
All right, very good. So we need some more teachers for religious school. Just see Paige. She'll get your name. She'll pass it on to Haley. All right.
Are
I
we
think
ready?
that's it. Eddie, what do you think? A little Shalom Aleichem? All right, here we go, page 144.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon,
142.
Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boichem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzechem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 120, the mitzvah of kindling the Shabbat lights. Call upon Debbie Premack for this honor. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So we take a moment to look to your right and left, perhaps behind you. Introduce yourself to someone that you may not know. Wish them good Shabbos. All right, now that you have met some new friends, continue the conversation during the oneg. But for now, 127. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand and wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace, as we welcome the Sabbath bride, page 138. L'chadodi.
La 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 chadodi. La 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 Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha Hishmi'anu elcha miuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'shimu tiferet ve'litchila Yalalai, yalalalala l'chadodi Yalalala l'krat kala Yalalala Panei Shabbat Necha Bela Verse 2 Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelcha Ki mikor habaracha Merosh mikedem Nesucha Sof ma'asher b'maksheva techila Yalalai, yalalalala l'chadodi Yalalala Panei Shabbat Yalalala Panei Shabbat Panei Shabbat Nekabela Please rise and greet the Shabbat bride Boi v'shalom Ateret bala Gam besimcha Uv'tzola Toch emuneh Am segula Boi chala Boi chala Yalalai, yalalalala l'chadodi Yalalala l'krat kala Yalalala Panei Shabbat Panei Shabbat Nekabela
We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu. 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. As we turn the page together, as you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
If
Please
you are a
be
religious
seated.
school student, please join us for the Ve'ahavta.
Religious school students, come on up.
I see one or two. No?
All right.
Come on, Zane.
All right, Zane, a willing volunteer. All right, we join together in the Ve'ahavta.
Hafta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvlechol nafshecha uvechol meotecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uvlechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha uvkumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher otzetem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
$157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Michamocha.
Oh, shelter from life's storms. Join me. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, leshalom. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be a shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
162 is the Vashamru, for we are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. We remember the Exodus lasted a moment, but it's a moment that endures forever. For what happened once upon a time happens all the time. Vashamru. Vashamru,
Bnei Israel, et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן, בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש. נחש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם.
164, 166, we rise for the tefillah. As we begin our prayers, we remember this expression, a favorite of mine: pray as if everything depended on God, but act as if everything depended on you.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imateinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ha'mara El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Shovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh Hakol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Morid Hatah Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Ulkayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umidon Elach Melech Mimit Umchayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lechachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol.
We continue in our prayers quietly, pages 168 through 179. As you complete your prayers at that time, please be seated. Thoughts turn now to the Misha Berach. Those of you who are watching online, although without the cantor, we don't have the technology to read the names, please do submit them to the chat. And those of you who are on the online community will know that their prayers are included in our Misha Berach. We think of those whose names were submitted: Beth Molaski, Donna Zale, AJ McInerney, Sandy Block, Emily Bowe, Lori Fletcher. Always think of my sister, Dina Axelrod. And now I look to the congregation. If you have a name of someone to be included in our prayer of healing, simply say their names as I look in your direction. Just simply say the names, that's all. We think of these, so many others. We pray that those we care about are emboldened by the fact that we're thinking of them, they're in our thoughts, they're in our prayers. We rise now for Misha Berach.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mekor habracha, lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Sometimes sermons just write themselves. This one started writing itself about 2 a.m. last Friday night after services. The title of the sermon is called One is a Coincidence, Not a Coincidence. So I start by looking out at this congregation. How many of you have had a coincidence that somehow gave you pause to think, maybe this isn't a coincidence? Pretty much everybody, right? Quickly, does anyone want to share a coincidence? Only quickly, no long stories. Go ahead, Stan.
My wife passed away 16 months ago. About a month ago, I had a dream she wanted a divorce, and I'm fighting with her. And finally she said, no, I want a divorce. When I met with my grief group, they said to me the divorce was the separation to let me go on with life.
Beautiful. Thank you. One more? Yeah?
Our cousin Ross died a few years ago, and my husband and I flew down to LA to the funeral, and we were very sad. Dog went to the car, driving to the funeral, and the car directly in front of us as we approached the house, the license plate just said Ross.
Wow. think we could all share these stories, and I encourage you to do it during the Oneg. Just find someone, whether you know them or not, and trade a story, because I think you'll find more often than not that coincidences aren't always just a coincidence. So last Friday night, those of you who were here, remember that I gave the sermon and then I kind of rewrote it for Facebook. So if you read the Facebook essay or you were here last Friday, you know that I talked about my sabbatical and how we went to London and we decided to go out of the box and take an art class in Japanese art. And it was called kintsugi. So we're there in London and we wanted to be with Londoners and it was really fun. And part of it was that they would give you a vase or a bowl, and we took a mallet and we tapped, we broke it, and we broke it in like 3 or 4 places. And that's what the sermon was about, because the Japanese believe that you reassemble those broken pieces, and they'll use glue, and then there's like a gold metallic material, a glitter, that is mixed with the glue. And wherever those broken places are, they mend together, and you're stronger. So it was about a sermon really about strength and resiliency. So that was that sermon. How many of you heard it, read it? Oh, good. So it touched a lot of people. I was very proud of it. Come back from services last Friday night. Eventually it's time to go to sleep. Middle of the night, I hear a crash. Go, Johnny. That's my wife. Something fell, something up. Wake up. Oh, God, now we wake up and we go. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know, was it a burglar? We go, and a picture fell. It was something we got at Spot a long time ago. It wasn't even hung. It was kind of at an angle. I don't know what made it move, but it falls off the ledge, and it hits 2 beautiful statues, ceramic statues that have been in Joni's family since the 1930s. And breaks them. And they fall on the ground. Kintsugi? I don't know. So she's really upset. She's still upset because they were from her grandfather, her maternal grandfather, and she loved them, and she just doesn't know why they fell. She doesn't know why they fell. Was her mother trying to tell her something? Her mother died a couple years ago. Is her mother mad? Is her grandfather trying to tell her? How many of you, there's a coincidence, you try to put meaning into it, right? You think, what's going on here? Is it poltergeist? We don't know. Maybe it was just a coincidence. But it was the night of that sermon that talked about things being broken. So she's been spending the past week trying to reassemble those shards and putting them back together. There are some pieces, of course, that have just become powder, and some you can't find. But little by little, these 2 statues are starting to come together, and then she's going to apply that gold technique. Coincidence 1. Now, there's another one, and I got a bunch of them, so I was trying to think, what am I going to tell you? So the next coincidence was from when we were in the old building. This was from the early 1990s. We'd moved to Las Vegas. We're about a 4-hour drive from Los Angeles. And my wife, she nudges me and she says, we got to go to Los Angeles. I really want to go to Marilyn Monroe's grave. I said, what? Oh my God, you're kidding me. No, I really love Marilyn. Has anyone been to Marilyn Monroe's grave? All right. It's not where you think it is, because now there are these tall skyscrapers all around it, and it's kind of in the middle of Westwood, and in a cemetery that is growth and building all around it. But, you know, dutiful husband, I go. And at that time, I couldn't do anything without getting a sermon out of it, so I don't remember what the sermon was, but somehow it was about visiting Marilyn Monroe's grave. And in the middle of that sermon, the lights went out. Boy Scouts honor. Then they went back on. That's why I remember the sermon. So we go on a little bit further. We have our own egg, and then I go into the parking lot, turn on the radio, and Elton John is singing Candle in the Wind.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Double Scouts honor. Third coincidence, this is from when I was 19, and I could pull some from even 1 hour ago when I just did a funeral, and there was a coincidence that happened at this funeral. But I'm going back a distance on purpose. So my friend Rick and I, we were travel buddies. He was ultimately best man at my wedding. Those of you who went to Israel with me, you met Rick. He traveled with us. So part of our trip, we're going through Europe. We have long hair, beards, and backpack, and we meet up with these two Jewish girls from Canada. And we're in Italy. And we traveled with them, and we became fast friends. And then they went one way, and we went another, and that was it. Except 2 years later, I enter seminary, and I go to Israel. And I'm on a bus. I've been in Israel about 4 days. And on that bus is one of those girls. And before I could say, oh, she left the bus. Never saw her again. All that I have is a story. So, let's look at these three coincidences for a moment. The first one, my wife is in pain, and she's looking at it from a negative way. Maybe someone's mad at me. What is my mom trying to tell me? Why did this happen? I love these. I cherish them. If anything else in the house could have been broken, even your silly head, it would have been fine. But instead, it was these statues. I said, well, you're angry, and you're in pain. You're darn right I am. I said, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. We experience loss, we experience pain, we experience death. And we either get stuck and we stay in our pain and in our anger, or we find that as we make our way through it, we place upon this coincidence something that could be very negative or something positive, pointing us in a direction in life that moves us somehow forward. You're just not there yet. The second one, the Marilyn Monroe thing. There I was, a young pup of a rabbi here at Ner Tamid, and that story became one of a bunch of stories that I've collected that made me, little old rabbi, a believer. Right? When we're younger, death strikes us in different ways. But sometimes we don't really think that much about it, and then we get a little bit older. And here I am, a young rabbi, and fortunately I hadn't really experienced death except as a rabbi, helping people. But I was, 26, 27, I came here at age 30. And then that sermon and what happened gave me pause. And then, believe me, it opened my eyes to the possible, that coincidences weren't just coincidence. And as soon as I started thinking that, I have seen so much more in my career that have deepened my sense of belief that there is life after life, that there is a way that those who are, beyond us somehow find a way to reach us. We turn on the radio and their favorite song comes on. We bend down and we find something that wasn't there yesterday. The phone rings and somehow it's a voice that reminds us of something that we had long forgotten. And now we know coincidences aren't just coincidences. And the last one really mystified me. Why did this girl enter my life, disappear, and re-enter? Was she my beshert? Am I going to go to heaven one day and she'll say, "You silly man, you should have married me"? And so I asked her, Rebbe, I said, what do you think that means? It's always troubled me. He says it was to remind you that in God's world, anything's possible. Don't forget that. It's as simple and as powerful as that. So now we look at this week's Torah portion. Very important Torah portion about the spies. They are this close to the promised land. We all think about them wandering in the desert for 40 years. This Torah portion is one explanation of what happened. Moses sends one member of each tribe, 12, to go look at the promised land and come back and report. So they go and they look and they come back. 10 of them, the majority, say, oh my God, you won't believe what we saw. They are Anakim, they are Anakites, they are giants, and we were like grasshoppers. If we go into war with them, they will destroy us. We have to turn around. And these 10 people caused such fear amongst the people that they could not go into the promised land. They didn't believe they could conquer it. They didn't want to go in. Except for Caleb and Joshua, who said, woohoo, we went also. Can you hear our story? We thought it was beautiful. It was a land flowing of milk and honey. And those giants, they're not giants. They're the same as us. We're people of faith. We have God on our side. We can go in there. We can do this. And their voices were drowned out. God and Moses have a conversation. The people are not ready. Their faith is not strong. For them, a coincidence is just a coincidence because they cannot see the world through possibility. They can only see the world through fear and not through faith. So they had to wander and wander and wander and wander for 40 years. Except for Joshua, Caleb. They lived long enough to enter the promised land. They lived long enough that Joshua will be chosen when Moses dies to take over the leadership. Not Moses' children. It'll go to Joshua. Because he knew that a coincidence is not always a coincidence unless you think it is. Meh, just a coincidence. But if it gives you pause and you understand that it's not just a coincidence, it will give you an opportunity to look at life a little bit different. What is the universe trying to tell me? What is it that this accident is trying to tell me? What is it that this chance meeting is trying to tell me? It can drive you crazy, or it can push you forward. It can cause you to be more broken, or it can be an opportunity for hope and for healing. The last few verses of this week's Torah portion are really telling. They're about the mitzvah of the tzitzit. The tzitzit are supposed to be looking at. We're supposed to look at them. And they serve as a reminder. A reminder to do God's mitzvot. But I submit to you along the lines of my sermon that they're a reminder to see the world through Jewish eyes. And when we do that, we'll see the world through eyes of faith. And we'll know that coincidences aren't coincidences. Coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous. Shabbat shalom. (586). We rise for the adoration.
Aleinu leshabeach ladron hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo samchel kenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol
So we turn to our Kaddish prayer. Those of you, again, who are watching online, if you'd like to submit the names, although we won't say them, they'll be in the chat, and our online community will see them. $598 is our Kaddish prayer. We think of those who have died in recent days: Gordon Basikas, Mildred Phillips, Donald Joseph Haggerty, Joyce Levitt, Robert McDonald, Harvey Goddoroff, Charles Cooper, Dick Hyman, Harriet Matthews. We recall the yortzites of Martin Berger, Barbara Bonfigley, Ivan Buchbinder, Edward Chall, Michael Chevalier, Robert Kasdan-Cohn, Jacob Dunn, Beatrice Fisher, Celia Glasser, David Greenspun, Jerry Honigman, Isla Jensen, Sue Kabikoff, Rose Kestenbaum, Jean Krupnick, Yale Levenberg, Marcia Lewis, Bernice Lopata, Michelle Makaji Magalnik, Sheldon Mann, Jane Marshall, Jorge Martin, Floyd Meeks, Al Ostrov, June Roberg, Betty Rosen, Sidney Schachter, Norman Al Sonnenthal, Henrietta L. Sonnenthal, Benjamin Stern, Harry Sternberg, Ida Tobman, and David Weinstein. If you'd like to say the name of someone who was not mentioned, please stand and say the name of your loved one. We think of all these and others, we rise to recite our Kaddish prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'yalmad livrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'agalav b'zman kariv v'imru amen Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekusha b'richu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlom araba min shamaya v'chaim, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to which we say, amen. May be seated. A special Shabbat Shalom to the cantor. I'm waving to her. She made her way back today, came back with a cold. Told her to bring me some chocolate. Instead, she'd come back with a cold. She didn't listen. Anyways, we hope she feels a little bit better. I'm sure she was tired anyways. It's a long trip. And we look forward to seeing her very soon back here. But thank you, Glory. You're wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. These guys are a wonderful team. So we would like to have our Kiddush and Motzi, and we have a beautiful oneg afterwards, and it's always a mystery to me. I'm hoping and I'm thinking, is it in the social hall? Yes. Dell says yes. So you're going to go through the side doors, return the prayer books, and make your way to the social hall, and then take time to share a coincidence that was not a coincidence. That would be great. All right, children from religious school, come on up. Anyone who has, let's see, anyone who has been to Iceland? Come on up. Anyone been to Iceland? Come on. Well, that was a fun part of my sabbatical. All right, one person. That's pretty cool. Beautiful. All right. All right.
Join us, Rabbi?
I am. You guys want to come? Come on up. You guys want to come? Didn't you? You said, what about the Shabbat squad? Come on. I thought I heard that. Come on. Oh, I thought you said that. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. There's plenty. Take the big one. That's Mark one. That's huge. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Use a little sugar. Oh, wow. Not sweet enough.
Join in our final song, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh shalom b'ramah, v'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'emeru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Glory, Eddie, Dale. Good Shabbos, everyone. We'll see you in the Oneg Shabbat with your stories of coincidence.